Train by day, Kyle Wigginton podcast by night, all day.
Tevin Marbeth.
It is I.
What's up, dude?
Nothing much. Enjoying this cooler Sunday.
Yeah.
As a person who runs warm, I live for days like this.
What? It's like the weather finally broke, right?
Yeah.
Can you hear yourself good?
Yeah, I can hear myself pretty great.
Okay.
But I mean, I feel like we definitely just needed a little bit of rain plus cooler weather. Finally doesn't smell like a chemical marsh fire.
Yeah, dude.
Which, thank God.
Have you looked into that any? Is that just a thing that happens always?
Well, they were saying that the reason why it lasted so long was because the fires are happening underground. And so it's hard to locate. Yeah. I actually learned a little bit about this when I was a camp counselor up in Michigan. I used to teach outdoor survival courses. And I'm not sure if it's the same as in the marshes, but apparently if you don't properly put out a fire, there can be pockets of like dry moss underground. And apparently it can have like networks that just spans miles. And so it can just kind of be a little ember that travels, finds a spot where it's windy, kicks up and dry. And, you could have spontaneous little forest fires. You can just have a fire that,
And it's just been burning forever because they can't find it.
Exactly.
What an interesting thing. I mean, I know that there's like, natural gas and stuff. And like we pump a lot of natural gas out here in Louisiana. So I wonder if that's got a cause of it too.
I hope not. Because that sounds explosive.
Yeah.
That sounds scary.
So you've been doing any of the film festival stuff? I know it's in town right now.
Not this year. Last year I had a really great entry with the Negro and the Cheese Knife. So that was
what a name.
Yeah, no, it was probably one of my favorite shorts that I've been in. Extremely well done by a gentleman by the name of Corey Stewart, I believe is his last name.
I don't think I know.
Super talented. And I was it was one of my goals as an actor in New Orleans to be in the NOLA Film Fest. So
yeah, I don't think I've had anything in it yet.
I'm surprised. Maybe
that's what we gotta do. We gotta do one.
Yeah, you just gotta
gotta do one. Put it in there.
They're waiting for us to make some magic together.
Yeah, what happened in what'd you call it again?
The Negro and the Cheese Knife.
Yeah, what happened in it?
So it's a fantastic love story without giving too much away. There's a gentleman and he is in interracial relationship. So he's a black dude dating a white woman and she gifts him a cheese knife. And it's really funny because their worlds are so different and he finds the gift really amusing. He's like, I don't think I know any other black guys with a cheese knife. It's not like something that, we do as go on these little cheese dates or whatever. And she's slightly, offended that, he feels that way. And he's like, no. It's just like, it's amusing to me because before you, like I like if someone offered me a bunch of cheese, I'd be like, are you out of your mind? And now like we're having charcuterie dates and stuff like that. And he's like, I love my little, what does he call them? Blue moons or something like that. I don't know. But, so he gets this gift and ends up having someone intrude upon his house. He grabs a, first weapon that he has handy. And it just so happens to be this silly little cheese knife. And I won't tell you what happens after that. You should definitely try to check it out if it's available. I'll have to see where it's available for people to watch, but
that's dope.
Yeah.
I always wonder like where people come up with these ideas. Like, what do you think the writer came up with that idea?
Well, it's actually pretty amazing because he had written it before like the height of the BLM movement and all that stuff. And I'm pretty sure he wasn't sure if he was going to go through with it. And then the whole George Floyd incident happened and he was like, no, this is a story I have to tell.
Yeah.
And it shows the weird duality of kind of being a black man who's educated and well-spoken and maybe not hanging out so much in like the hood or around like lots of other black people, and how you have to be careful as that person, because if you forget yourself, you can put yourself in a very dangerous situation. And so, yeah, it was just the timing of it all. It was, some real life stuff that we go through as black men. And then he just found a way to tell the story in a kind of lighthearted but very serious way, and I just think it turned out extremely great.
I guess I'm really meaning the cheese knife. Like
The cheese knife?
Yeah.
I mean, because it's a silly gift. It's like, you know, it's like, you know, like what do you expect as a black man, like, to not experience, or most black men probably haven't experienced?
But as a white person, I don't think that a cheese knife has ever been given away that I know. Yeah, as a gift.
But like,
maybe like a letter opener.
but it's like cheese heavy.
Cheese knife is funny
in the cuisine or the
of the white people.
Yeah,
I don't think so. I don't eat cheese.
No.
Yeah, I used to have one of those weird ones.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll eat a cheeseburger occasionally, but like when it comes to my diet is like the worst.
Like I wasn't a cheese person for the longest time. Like
cheese,
unless it was on pizza, cheeseburger, yada yada yada, pizza, basic stuff. Yeah. And then I started to expand a little bit. You know, going out dating people from other cultures and stuff like that. You have
the white people. Apparently, I'm the one white person that doesn't eat cheese.
But then you start to expand your palate, and like I love a sharp cheddar. Like all my sisters, I have lots of sisters. My sisters and all my mother. They love cheese. We're always obsessed with cheese, and they would chop off these huge blocks of like extra sharp. Yeah, like huge chunks, and they would just eat it. And I was like, what is wrong with you guys?
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy to me. But I mean, there are some cheeses where like you get a nice, Trader Joe's has this unexpectedly better cheddar. Sorry for the plug. I don't know if I'm allowed to do that.
Yeah, that's fine. Trader Joe sponsors us.
But when I tell you, it's like the most crumbly but delicious tasting cheese. Is fire. So like
better cheddar,
slightly converted over here.
So my thing is anytime there's way too many choices, like that's where I draw the line.
Okay.
Like there's a million different types of beer, and I'm like, yeah, you know, there's just too many choices there.
I feel that.
Like when I say my diet's horrible, my diet's actually really good, but I only eat chicken. Basically just chicken wraps.
But it's like, you know what you like. So I mean,
I don't know if it's what I like. I basically eat for fuel.
Okay.
I just eat to keep going.
Proteins and just whatever else can pair with it well.
Basically, not even pairing with it. Yeah, it's just like chicken and vegetables.
Well, then, like, are you an expert at preparing chicken?
No, not at all. Once again,
it's the same sort of.
Cook a huge batch at the beginning of the week, and just as you get hungry throughout the week, just munch on some fuel.
Okay.
Yeah, that's kind of how I operate with food. Every now and then I'll get a pizza. If I get a pizza, the cheese that I do like is gorgonzola.
Okay.
You a fan of gorgonzola?
I could get down with some gorgonzola. It's probably not going to be my number one go-to. I'd say my top cheeses would be mozzarella, goat cheese.
Goat cheese?
Yeah.
What is that like?
It is, I would say, like a smoother, creamier cheese. You can get like a honey goat cheese, which is, oh my God, you give me some Ritz crackers, a honey goat cheese, some pepper jelly, and some type of salami or whatever. I'm like, I will have that entire situation to myself.
Dude, pepper jelly is the shit.
Yeah.
We should have brought us a charcuterie board.
We should have.
I didn't know this was going to be a cheese podcast.
Well, I mean, it's a little culinary over here. I'm learning a little bit about you. But yeah, I like to mess with flavors too much. I feel
you're a chef?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I like to cook. If you give me a recipe, I feel like I could follow it pretty well.
I used to live with Adam and Emily.
Mm-hmm.
Remember Adam? Yeah. Adam Hensley. Shouts out Adam Hensley.
Yeah.
Him and Emily were both really good cooks.
Okay.
So them two living with me, I got to try a lot of the stuff they made, and it was some really good stuff. They cooked all across the board, like different cultures, all kind of stuff. Because he's part Japanese and she's Hispanic, so I mean they cooked all kind of stuff.
So you're down with trying a bunch of other foods.
Down with trying it
when it comes to preparing it yourself.
Just preparing it, man. It's just time.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were talking about time. Time's a very valuable thing.
Most efficient.
Yeah. See, most people they don't know that this is take number 2 for this podcast. And I was telling him because last week I did 3 podcasts and fucked every one of them up.
No, all of them.
All 3 of them did. Yeah.
Man.
I mean, it's part of life. You know, you make mistakes and you move forward.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So what happens is I bought a new camera and I didn't have the audio running through the computer. So it was all camera audio, which no one wants to hear that shit.
Yeah. Getting picked up.
So yeah, I basically wasted everyone's time. And I was saying that I hate wasting time because that's the most valuable resource we have on this planet.
But I feel like you could give yourself a little leeway and like maybe maybe 1 week out of the year, treat yourself to slightly more prepared chicken or something.
Oh, dude, I mean, I eat good. Okay, let's not put it down. Yeah. Dude, I tell you something I love is going down to that sushi restaurant, Origami.
Yeah,
I mean, this whole street right here, dude. Mint, Origami.
It's really popped off, man.
Dude, there's so much good food
Since
here.
I've been here, thank God. Like Val's over there.
Val's too, yeah.
Mr. Tequila, their black and gold burrito.
Oh my God, bro. Are you serious?
Bruh, so cheesy and
Dude,
delicious.
I didn't know that everyone got that. I thought I was the one that got that.
No, dude. I went like the first time I had it. It was probably maybe a bad 2 weeks where I had it way more than any human probably should.
They're so
because,
good.
Like I wasn't getting tired of it.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's my Friday ritual. I come in here to bartend and I set everything up and then I go over there and order my food.
Yeah.
And I get a black and gold burrito. Yeah. They like, do you ever get anything different? No,
I think I've tried maybe their like steak fajita one time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure it was good to my memory, but no, like 99% of the time, that's what I'm great.
Yeah, man, that place it's good. A lot of people don't like it. They say it's Tex-Mex or something, but I think it's amazing.
I mean,
it's always packed out, so apparently someone likes it.
They're doing a good job. I definitely say. As far as I've always been a little disappointed in Louisiana in general, especially New Orleans, just for how close we are to Mexico and the lack of really good, authentic Mexican food, like outside of a food truck.
Oh yeah, yeah. Someone was telling me the taco trucks over by Lowe's. Have you ever been over there? There's like 3 or 4 taco trucks that hang out over there.
They said they're pretty good.
Yeah, there's a guy. He said that it was like more authentic Mexican food.
Okay,
but like you said, it's a food truck. Yeah, there's not really any restaurants.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like they should be. I mean, who doesn't like some fire, authentic Mexican food,
bro?
There's no way. There's no way you can tell me that a lot of the population wouldn't get down with that.
I mean, you're basically eating the same thing over and over again, just mixed up in different ways. That's what I feel like when you go to Mexico. But it's delicious.
But it's like the way that it's cooked, the appreciation for it, the right seasonings, and like I'm from an hour south of Chicago.
Are you not from here?
No. I moved here in 2014. But there's hour south of Chicago is Joliet.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good. You're good.
No, I was gonna say, what year did we do Beg?
Ooh, that was, I feel like probably 2015 or 16.
Okay, so right after you moved here.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all just moved here then.
Yeah.
What a weird thing. We all just moved here at the same time.
Meant to be.
Yeah. What were you saying though about the Mexican restaurant?
But no, it's basically like Little Mexico, in that they have such a strong Mexican culture and population. But I mean, I grew up eating like really delicious, like we'd have the, what is it called? The Platero man come and they would have like street corn and stuff like that.
The what?
Street corn.
No, what did you say?
The Platero man.
I don't know what that is.
They're like the little guys. They would go around with like selling ice cream and corn on the cob.
Oh, like they would have their own little
their carts. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Mm-hmm. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing that.
Well, no, I'd never heard of that word.
Yeah. But I mean, it's super dope and like the most delicious food. The most delicious food.
Yeah, I like one of the reasons I like going to LA is because you see those fruit cart guys all over the place. You get like a big bowl of fruit for like $10.
Yo, we used to have I mean, that was a big part of New Orleans culture. There was a guy who used to go around with the fruit cart.
Really?
Yeah.
Where
uptown. I think he passed away sadly, but it was like a big staple to New Orleans culture. You would hear him like, I got mangoes and blah blah blah, like announcing it.
Oh, I know who you're talking about now. Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to be in mid city and I would hear this guy coming through. I never bought any of his fruit, unfortunately.
I wish I did, but I was like always like on the weekend hearing it like half asleep, being like, yeah, do your thing.
Yeah, no, he would just drive through and just like yelling, mango, pineapple.
But I mean, I can't hate on New Orleans food altogether though. It's really good.
It's so hard to like eat healthy down here.
It is.
Yeah.
It is really different. I mean, that's been a struggle my entire life. Being a big just sweets junk food person. But surprisingly though, I have an easy time resisting fried foods.
Fried foods ain't bad. The sweets are what gets me too.
Yeah. Fried foods, they do something like weird. Like after I eat a certain amount, like my throat just starts to close. It's like, that's enough.
I mean, it makes sense.
This is your body telling you you're trying to kill yourself with food.
Right. It's like with alcohol too. When you drink too much, you throw up. Your body's going, okay, you poison yourself enough. Let's stop.
But with sweets, my body has, I guess, a higher threshold for damage because.
Well, there's actually a thing that goes on in the body. So if you if you eat your meal, if you eat your entire meal and then you go to, and you're super full and then you go to eat sweets, your body will make room for the sweets.
Okay.
Like it's a weird mechanic that you have where you'll put sweets on top of like a full stomach.
Is that why they do dessert after?
Yeah.
Because I'm always down to do
because you'll always
before.
No, you'll always eat dessert after if you're given the choice because your body just like expands again.
Well, they should tell you that at restaurants when you're full and they're like, do you want dessert? Because most of the time you're like, no, if I try to eat something else, I'm going to explode. But no, your body's
I feel like it's a fun fact most people don't know. But yeah, you'll expand out so you can actually eat the dessert if you...
Hearing it here first, ladies and gentlemen. Maybe you already knew, but you're hearing it here first.
That's why you can just eat sweets until you fucking pop.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like a lot of my good friends, and this is the first time I've encountered it, like they'll buy a bag of gummies or whatever, have a couple, wrap that thing up, put it to the side. I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah, you gotta eat the whole thing.
I'm doing a bag and possibly half a bag of something else before I'm just disgusted with myself.
I'm the same way. I used to do fitness competitions, right? Mm-hmm. So whenever I was trying to diet down, what I would do before I started my hardcore diet is I would go buy a whole pack of chewy chocolate chip cookies. Okay. And then a 12
Chips Ahoy red pack.
Yeah, the red pack. Yeah. Fucking love those. And I would buy Mountain Dews, like 3 or 4 Mountain Dews, and I would eat that all in one setting. Yeah. So I would basically make myself sick. That way I didn't want any sugar after that.
Like physically sick? Or
yeah, just eat way too much.
Okay, I got you.
And that way I didn't want it anymore. Because I knew that right after that, I was going to have to like go on this bland diet of just chicken and asparagus.
I feel that.
So I think that was a way to like trick myself.
Kind of like a Mardi Gras mentality, the Fat Tuesday.
Get it all out,
before you do your fasting for Lent or whatever.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. Just on a micro scale.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But I haven't done that in a long time. So my new found obsession, because I try to stay away from the sweets nowadays, are those apple chips.
Okay, yeah.
At Rouse's. Mm-hmm. But I think those are like, 4 or 5 chips and it's like that's your serving size, but I eat the whole bag too.
How is that possible?
It's probably more than that. It's probably like a cup of chips. But
I hope it's the entire bag because I feel like that's an apple.
Dude, yeah. You'd think so, right? But I can smash a whole bag of those and then I feel guilty after. I'm like, shit, dude.
Could you imagine just being like taking a single bite out of an apple and being like, that's a serving size?
Right?
No,
I wonder how many apples are in that bag, actually. I need to look at that. It probably says it on there.
1.
But those things are so good. Apple chips.
$7 a bag. No.
I actually just bought a dehydrator. I want to try to dehydrate some.
I enjoy some dehydrated fruits. Mango, top tier.
Mango dehydrated?
Yeah, dude.
Never had it.
Yeah. Well, mango just in any way, shape, or form is going to be, except for the little mango pearls that they try to put on your ice cream. I'm a texture person. I can't.
What's wrong with those? They just don't work with the ice cream?
I don't know. I just don't like weird things with thin shells that pop and are like mushy or have liquid.
I don't think I know. Are you talking about like the things you get at Mint? The tapioca?
No, those are all right because they're like a denser texture and material. Like imagine escargot or what is it, Tabico, the little fish eggs.
Oh yeah,
that they put on sushi, but like larger and just like filled with like fruit juice.
No, I don't think I could do that.
No,
either.
I'm not. It's peas, anything like that. It's like, no, thank you.
But anytime I'm eating those, like even the tapioca things, I'm kind of sus. I'm like, what is this? Like, what if this is a plastic pearl that I'm biting into?
Well, I stayed away from boba teas for the longest time because every time they're like, there's tapioca balls in there. All I could think of was tapioca pudding. And tapioca pudding is disgusting to me.
Yeah.
Because just like putting texture with whatever is inside of it. And I'm just like, no.
Yeah, I have one every now and then, but they're not really my fave. So back to Beg.
Yeah.
That was, I think that's where I met you and Hunter.
Definitely. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. Where'd you bump into Adam at? Because Adam introduced me to you guys, I think.
I feel like I meet almost everyone through Hunter. Because he's so well connected.
It might have been, they might have known each other.
Just like, people would come over to the house and kick it. And then, eventually we'd be working on a project or in some way or shape or form.
Yeah, that was the most fun I've ever had. Because that was like the first one I ever wrote and then directed and edited too.
Yeah, man, it was great. I was excited. Like I was like showing my family. I was like, yo, check it out. I'm in something.
Yeah. Yeah, I just get shot in the face. Yeah. Isn't that what happened? You just got shot?
Yeah, and it was like my very first experience with any sort of like faking death or whatever. And I remember the first time that I got shot, my reaction was so extreme. And you guys were like, that's Tevin. That's not what happens when you get shot. And I just like, I just remember that sticking in my head being like, okay, not so dramatic.
Well, dude, that entire, I think we had you like in the scene, but that entire location that we had that day was like, it was, I forgot what happened. I think we lost the location. So we had to pick that one up like last minute or something.
It was like the boxing place.
Yeah, the boxing place. It was a dope location.
Yeah, it worked out.
Yeah, it worked out really nice. I need to go back and like make another cut of that. Cause I feel like at the time my editing skills were just like,
I feel like, we've
trash.
definitely grown a lot since.
Absolutely.
I mean, acting wise, just the entire sense of the entire project.
Yeah. Well, for me, that time, it was like when I was looking at the software, I didn't have a clue what I was even looking at. Like now, like the very first time you open up a new project, you're like, what is this? Like, what am I doing? What does this button do? Yeah. So now I actually know what the stuff's doing. So I think I could go back and actually make it. I re-edited one of ours a while back. I just did another cut of it's one of our 48-hour projects. And I think it looks amazing. Cut it down to about a minute, which I think is like a good time. That the runtime on Bag was just way too long in my opinion.
How long was that?
Yeah, I think it was like 8 minutes or something.
I think that's so long.
Well, I think there's a lot that could have been cut down. Like we did some really cinematic stuff in there, which in a short film, you don't really need that many cinematic shots. It's about pushing the plot forward. Yeah. But I mean, we learned a lot during that film. It was dope.
The Negro and the Cheese Knife was maybe like 11 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah. I feel like that's pretty typical.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you just have so much more knowledge, though.
Yeah,
I'm excited to see what you would do with it.
Well, even Jared, right? Jared Beck, Lamar Advertising.
Yeah.
Yeah, so even him, we go back and rewatch our old films sometimes and just like critique them. And he also was saying the same thing. It needs to be cut down a little bit. But you did amazing on that set, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah, on Lamar Advertising.
Yeah, man, that was a fun project. Mm-hmm. They try to offer me a job because I was doing. Did they? Yeah,
nice.
Because I mean, they were like, I don't know if I spoke to an actual employee there briefly on like just the logistics of selling billboards and like the stuff like that. And she gave me, a little spiel. And I was like, all right, bet I'm gonna flip the script. Like during the camera on time, it's like, all right, so we have billboards in these different locations. We get a lot of traffic through this area. So I really think that this is going to be great marketing opportunity for you. Like, and she's like, do you want a job after this?
You want a sales job? That's always great when you go on as an actor and they're like, would you like to come work here?
Yeah, but it's like, that's kind of how I am with like any real life job. I'm like really quick on the uptake.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, like I'm just started a new job at the JW Marriott and I'm working the front and I've only been there for 3 weeks, but they're like, yeah, man, you hit the ground running. Like I'm already solo. Like there's still a lot of stuff I have to learn, but they're just like, no, yeah. And I'm like, I mean, it's a skill we have to have as actors, I feel like.
Yeah, that's me too, dude. I like working without someone looking over my shoulder. Like, just let me go.
Yeah.
That's kind of my take with all jobs I've ever had, especially this one. Like, and I've been fortunate that the guys who have actually owned this place have just been like, okay, I'm going to get out of the way.
Yeah, I'd like in my head, this is like your place.
That's what everyone thinks. Yeah,
no, like really, like I'm like, that's Kyle's bar.
Yeah, everyone thinks that, but no, it's owned by someone else. I don't correct most people. Like
now.
Yeah, for now. Now, I don't know if I would actually want to own this place.
You don't think so?
Yeah, I don't. Like, there's so much that you're liable for when you own one of these places that I think I might try to like run it differently if I actually, But I think the whole like key to this place running the way it is it's kind of loose.
Yeah, I feel that.
Like every bartender that's here, they have their own style. Everyone that comes in here to do an open mic, whether it be like the music mic or the comedy mic, like those guys we run it loose. Like we let them come in and set up their own stuff. And I think if I own the place, I'd almost want to like
tighten it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
But then I think it would like ruin the whole aspect of what another bar is.
I mean, yeah, it's a very laid back vibe.
Yeah, it's a very laid back vibe.
And I think that's what helps me feel comfortable. Is like, I don't know. Some places are just like immediately like you feel your butthole kind of. It's like, all right, how do I navigate this space? Like
Cure. I mean, that's what they want to be, but yeah, Cure is that way.
And I've never appreciated places like that.
No, you go in there and I don't, if I went, I've never been in Cure, but if I went in there, I'm sure I would just be like so out of place.
I mean, I've been in there once and that's pretty spot on. It's like, let me put on a mask and pretend like I understand the world that these people are from, because clearly they're living on a different planet.
Well, I think they're all pretending too.
Yeah. And that's exhausting.
Yeah.
Like, I'm good.
Some people love that though, man. I want to come in and dress with my fucking headband on, a pair of jeans on.
Yeah.
This is me, dude. Like just laid back.
Well, there's definitely times for going out and, getting dressed up and blah, blah, blah. But nah, I'm good.
I hate it.
I prefer comfort.
I hate dressing up, man. Like if I never have to go put on slacks and get my pitch taken again.
Really?
That'd be lovely. Yeah. But I mean, it's part of it too. It's part of the game.
You love
going to festivals and things like that.
I love being in a suit. Like my goal is to have a tailor that knows me and has lots of great fabrics, and we can just make suits that I look good in.
I mean, you definitely. So for me, the reason I don't like it is because I feel powerful in a suit, and I don't want to feel that way. Like I want to feel like I am just another human on this planet. But when I put on a nice suit that's like tailored to fit me, I'm like, oh shit, I'm in character right now. Like you do this, get the fuck out of my way. I don't like to feel that way.
See,
it's cool to play that character.
It's nice to jump into the power a little bit.
It's cool to play that character on camera. Like the last film that I did, I played a guy that wore a suit.
Yeah.
And I was an asshole the whole time. Not only I told him I was method, so I was like, I'm gonna stay in character the entire time. So I was an asshole the entire time. I was there. God. Gave me an excuse.
Yeah. Yes, indeed. I don't know. Like, there are times where, like, the suit that I currently wear for work is my own. They haven't gotten me a uniform yet, and so I'm wearing my pinstripe, and I look more important than I should be.
Right.
So I can see people coming in, and they'll like have a problem or an issue, and they'll direct their focus to me, and I'm like, no. I've only been here for 3 weeks. I'm like, I am at the bottom. Like, I'm not a manager here. Let me go get a manager for you.
Like, no, if you wear the suit, you gotta take the power.
But then also, it's just like, people will listen to me on like easier things that I don't necessarily need a manager for. Like, no, this is our policy.
Isn't it weird that we issue respect to people who wear suits? Like, think about every president or every politician that we've ever had. Like, they're always in a suit.
I mean, yeah, it commands respect.
Police officers, they have their own. It's police officers. They don't wear a suit because it's notable. Like you can see them and go, okay, this person. They wear a suit because of this respect thing, I believe.
Yeah, I can't lie. I got some police uniform gear just for acting and stuff like that. Just like some discount warehouse uniform thing, and it's great. Like I'll put it on and I got the holster and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. I'll go do an audition. I'm resting my arm on, the gun holster.
Feels good, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. He really wears his holster with his G-string.
No. I mean, not always. That's for special people, special times. But yeah, I love stuff like that. I did FBI agent for Disney's National Treasure, and I was working on another show where I could make badges. I made myself a little fake FBI ID.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Hold up.
So you were playing like the bad guy that just makes the fakes? Jesus Christ, dude.
Yeah, doesn't it look good?
This is legit. I need one of these.
But the thing is, I made it before I actually booked the role.
What were you doing with this, dude? Can I show this to the camera?
Yeah, I mean,
we're not gonna get in trouble for this.
It's totally fake. Like,
yeah, sure it is.
But I was just like, I wanted to.
Was it federal booty inspector?
Yeah. But I just wanted to get into the character.
Yeah, we just need to put you like a barcode on the back, and you'll be legit.
That's what I'm saying.
Maybe like a QR code. I don't know, something.
I'm an undercover.
That's really good. You did that by yourself?
Mm-hmm.
How did you? What is the material? Is it plastic or like what?
Yeah, it's just like a badge, like a card.
Did you print it?
Mm-hmm. We had a ID printer. We were making IDs for everyone for the show as far as like zones and stuff like that.
Oh.
And I was like, we had wasted so many cards just trying to get the machine to work and figure out how to print stuff in the first place. Mm-hmm. I was like, what's one more?
Yeah.
what's one more that's really cool for me?
That's dope.
Yeah.
You could do all kind of stuff with those, man.
Yeah. But I don't go out into the world and misabuse power. Or
illegal
like
stuff.
No.
Oops. Maybe I'll like stop talking about this.
No. Like it's totally okay because I don't. Like
you're an actor. Like it's
yeah.
It's part of the job.
World building, character building.
Yeah.
So yeah, I love stuff like that.
What else have you done? I know you've done a lot of stuff.
I got to be a hologram in HBO's Watchmen, which was super dope.
All right.
I was a neighbor in NCIS episode called Bias, directed by LeVar Burton, which talk about a cool dude.
Well, he's got a weird story, man.
Yeah, like
so. How did he get into the? Because I know that for a while he was like serving or something, right? Wasn't that where someone like bumped into him?
No,
that's someone else.
That's someone else. That was I think like a guy from like Family Matters or some show like that.
Okay.
Or the Cosby Show.
Cosby
like,
Show.
Yeah.
I don't know. Now LeVar Burton's the Rating Rainbow guy, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How did he get in directing?
I have no idea. I feel like he's probably directed a lot of stuff that I just am not aware
that we just
of.
don't know about. Yeah.
But he was on top of it. He had a HNIC hat, which is head Negro in charge. And he was just such a vibe. Like he called the whole cast, crew, and everyone together because he wanted to give a message about the episode we were doing and its importance. And I remember Scott Black yelling out something, and he was like, "Hey, who invited the white man?" And it was just good vibes for everyone. So that was super dope. I was in a made-for-TV movie called In Broad Daylight. It was pretty fun. And I've got a handful of commercials here, doing some Gulf Coast Bank stuff. Yeah, so
what? How do you feel about the strikes? Are they over now?
Yes.
What? First of all, how do you feel about them? That it happened?
I mean, I feel like it was necessary.
Because
it was very evident that we are living in a consumption heavy world where the demand for projects, well-written shows, just written shows in general was very high. And then you have all these streaming platforms and corporations where your CEOs are making just insane amount of money. And then you have people who have written the shows that have made them as successful as they are, that makes their platforms as successful as they are, and they can't afford to live.
Right.
And you have your writers who can't afford to live. You have your actors who can't afford to live. You have crew workers who have just crazy expectations for how much work they're supposed to put into a day.
Yeah.
And just never really shown the appreciation and respect that they should be.
Yeah, most people don't know this, but working on a film, the hours are normally 12-hour days.
Yeah.
So that's a long day.
I was working COVID on one film, and we literally worked one 20-hour day.
Jesus.
I didn't sleep for 4 hours just because I was afraid I was going to wake up to make it to the next day. And then we did a 14-hour day. And I was spent.
20-hour day?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like why?
Well, because we weren't on set yet, and it was a lot of logistical stuff that we were just making sure that we had to get ready as far as people's contact information, testing records, all this stuff, compiling it into different spreadsheets and just making sure everything was accurate, planning for the first week or so of testing and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And so it was really demanding.
It's crazy.
You have people in different time zones who you're waiting on information from. And so it was just a lot, but we got it done. But I never want to do that again.
No, that's insane. And, you start actually losing focus after a certain amount of time. So you're actually making more mistakes than you're probably actually getting work done.
Absolutely. And you can just, unless it's the most fun set in the world where everyone's just having a good time, you can see it on everyone.
Yeah.
You can see the fatigue, and you can see people starting to get upset over, smaller things that normally they would be more like, yo, we're a team, let's make this happen, where you see people popping off on each other and stuff like that. So, excuse me. But it is a lot of work.
Yeah, and you're a prime example of why the strikes probably took place. Like, you've been on so many things, but yet you still have a job, working a day job.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like I'm definitely am growing in the direction I want to as an actor as far as opportunities, but none of those opportunities could sustain me living for, paying rent and just bills for maybe more than a month and a half.
Right.
And that's like a great gig that I book is doing that for me. Like, I would have to be booking out the ass.
Yeah.
Out the ass.
Just working all the time.
Yeah.
And
Which is what I want.
You want that, but it's not realistic.
At
this stage in the game.
I'm not an A-list actor where people are sending me scripts and I get to pick and choose what I want to do. It's like, I'm out here hungry and I want to be in as many things as possible, but it's just never always the case.
Yeah.
Unless like you're doing stuff with friends, but that's the type of stuff that's not going to pay.
Yeah. No, so like some of the stuff we're doing right now, it's like back end type money, but you never know if you're going to see anything on those.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the friend stuff you're talking about.
And I was just looking at all of my residuals from different projects, and like you'll see checks for $3, $4, $1, and it's just like, it's great.
It's a joke. That's a waste of paper.
It's almost not worth the effort of depositing it into a bank, honestly.
Well, you're paying fees on that too. So
it's
depositing like 70 cents.
It's very silly. So it was very necessary. And I'm happy that we've made progress, that we're ending the strike for writers and actors. And
do you know what they actually came to the conclusion of? Like,
I know that they finally got rid of whatever AI notions that they had planned.
That was stupid.
It was very stupid.
Scanning actors and using their likeness for the history for like as far as you want to go in the future.
I just can't see anyone having that thought and legitimately thinking that it's a good idea that people are going to just go with. I don't care how desperate you are as an actor background. Like, even I feel like background actors, the lifers who do it, are more passionate about being on set every day. Like, they love being there. They love physically being on set and being in different projects, finding themselves and saying, I have this great resume of all these different projects I've been, all these great experiences. They're going to trade that for a one shot of someone cloning their image and then using whatever. No. Like, I don't see that making sense.
No, the only way I can see it making sense is if you're looking at it from a numbers perspective only.
In what sense?
The fact that they'll save money. Like, that's the only way I can see it. And
they'll save money, but the actors.
Yeah, the actors are losing money.
We care about money just as much as they do, if not more.
Yeah, I'm saying I think that the people that are up in the upper echelon of the film industry are so out of touch with the reality.
Like, this is a great idea.
Yeah, we can save money on this.
We'll save money. We'll save time. We'll have to. No, that's
the problem with having a profit-driven system that we have is you always have to make more money.
Yeah,
like, you can't just be comfortable like making a great project, and you can see that in a lot of the projects that come out today. Like, people are just trying to like crank out as much content as they can rather than actually focusing on making a really good film.
Yeah. And for me, I honestly wish, and I say this as someone who is a serial binger, I love to consume my favorite shows just in record amount of times. But I honestly wish that everyone felt more comfortable not being so money focused and allowed art to happen more organically in its own time. One of my favorite musicians, Frank Ocean, dropped Channel Orange, and then it was years before he put out Blonde, but he did it in his own time. And I love both of those albums. Those are albums I can play front to back and just like vibe out. And I think they're great works of art. But I think it's because he did them in his own time instead of trying to appeal to mass consumerism, where it's just like, oh, we love you so much, we need a new album. Oh, we love that show so much, we need season 2 now. It's like, yeah, but I don't want people to be producing garbage and then falling out of love with things that could be really cool.
Right.
They just need proper time to develop, I feel like.
That's a great point. Yeah. One of my favorite artists, Eminem, like, he puts out an album once in a blue moon. But when he does, they're fucking bangers.
Yeah.
Everything on it's bangers. So I respect that more than just someone that's cranking out tons of content.
Yeah. And I think that it's tough because, as a writer, as a content creator, whatever, as an artist, you want to be surviving financially.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's that kind of same thing where it's like, am I feeding my artist soul or am I actually feeding myself sort of situation?
Yeah.
So I just hope that there is some room. There's some protections for writers with their agreement. And it just allows us actors to be a part of projects that people are going to appreciate.
Yeah. They've, I need to look up and see what they changed for the actors. I mean, I'm sure they took away the AI thing, but I wonder if they actually did up the residual.
I hope they did.
We need a young Jamie. Young Jamie, look up what they did. Look at what they changed.
I know that I got a residual check coming after a long drought. That's pretty decent, but I'm not sure if it actually coincides with the agreement or not, or if it was just like.
I doubt they're going to like change the stuff that's already happened.
Well, no, this is like.
They're going to change those too?
In time with the strike ending, I saw the residuals pop up and I'm like, these are bigger than normal.
Okay, maybe.
But I don't know if it's just like a coincidence or not that it's happening at the same time. But my hope is that they've actually been like, hey, we're going to up residuals for people.
Yeah.
If you're showing work that I acted in and we have a contract and you're going outside that contract and still showing it, then pay me what I'm worth. I mean, I feel like that's totally fair because you're profiting off of my work at that point.
Yeah. I think it's really messed up that they were saying stuff like, they'll be hungry and they'll have to not be able to pay their rent.
That's crazy to me. And it's almost like one of those things where I wish like we had such a strong level of unification where we all were just like, all right, bet we're not doing anything for you across the board.
Yeah, that person should have been
like
canceled.
Stand still, industry stand still. I don't care what project's got a green light, whatever. Like you say something crazy like that, like you're gonna need money, you're gonna need to pay your bills, and that's what we're gonna leverage over you. Is literal survival. Nah, that's crazy.
Yeah, I think of all the people that's been canceled up to this point, that person should have been canceled.
That person
Cancel
should be
culture should have stepped in.
Anonymous, where you at? I need you hacking some bank accounts and dropping some people to reality.
Yeah, just Robin Hood him. Like take all of his stuff and give it to the actors.
Yeah.
Give it to all the people that he said fuck off.
Bloop, bloop, bloop. Bank accounts going up. Da, 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 da.
Yeah.
What is it like? Now You See Me?
What is that? It's a movie, right?
Yeah, it's like magicians pretty much been doing like Robin Hood acts, screwing over like super rich assholes. And there's like one scene where a bunch of people are in a theater and they're like, what's your current bank account balance? They would ask them. And they'd be like something like really small or something like that. And they'd be like, look under your seat or something like that. And it would be this massive amount. And they'd be like, check your bank account. And it would be that massive number. And they were like, whoa, like, I need that to happen to me.
Yeah. Please do. Yeah, I think we've hit this point in history where you have these people, and I hate the word elite.
Yeah.
But you say that word, people know what you're talking about, or the genre that you're talking about. Yeah. They're so out of touch with what it is to be an average human being. You could even see that whenever the COVID shutdowns came and the politicians were giving out, thousands of dollars per week to people who were like, holy shit, like this is more money than I ever make in a week.
Yeah. And then like you expected them when it all ended to go back to their jobs that were overworking them, underpaying them for what?
It almost shattered everyone's reality.
It did.
Yeah.
It did. It put you had you had a massive influx of people saying, this is my time to create my own business, make money for myself, and just remove just making money for someone else and doing that mundane 9-to-5 crap. Mm-hmm. You had that. You had people who were getting taken care of by the government because they couldn't work because no one could work, and actually being able to live for the first time, to being able to pay things off and then actually buy the things that they wanted for life, whether it was for enjoyment or for like advancing their homestead or whatever. Like you're seeing this, and then I guess the government and this tier of people who are just extremely wealthy just expected it to snap back.
Right.
And it's like, no, you don't bounce back because we have a new perception.
Yeah.
we have a new perception. We spent that entire time on social media building our own businesses and then also being exposed to realities of the world. Like, hey, you don't need to put up with this crap. You can start your own business, and as long as you keep at it, you're going to find a way to make money off of it.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it's anything in life. If you want to be successful, just make sure that you're still doing it.
Yeah.
Like do it for the long run. Don't just do it to like, I think the same way with the film industry or any art really. There are a lot of people that started making films the same time that I did, but they all have dropped off.
Yeah.
And it has to do with like life situations or whatever. Maybe one of them had a kid and they had to start taking care of the kid or something like that. Or one of them got married and had to go that route. But I mean, if you're consistent with it and you stick with it, then you're going to be successful.
Yeah.
It's how this game works.
I mean, that's what has kept me with acting so much outside of it, that it's like, I know what I'm supposed to do with my life is the fact that I know that if I stick at it, eventually those goals that I have for myself are going to be reached. I don't know the exact trajectory or timeline, but I know as long as I stick with it, that it's going to happen. And I see that evidence reflected all the time, but I could see also people being very easily discouraged. Like there was a time where I Ubered from work to a live audition. This was before COVID. And I had this audition where I literally had to pretend to drop a pane of glass and react to it. Mm-hmm. And that was the whole audition. And then I Ubered back to work. So I spent some $40 for 7 seconds. Mm-hmm. And I was just like, I was like this, I went to college, I studied abroad in Moscow in one of the best acting schools in the world. And this is what I'm doing like years out of college. And it's just like, that stuff can be soul crushing to people.
That really can.
And it can make you, pause and reevaluate. And it's like, the only thing that keeps me going is I know that that's not it. I know that's not, the period on the end of the sentence for me.
Yeah.
It's like, it's just a learning moment. It's a moment of growth, knowing that it's not going to be always the most beautiful process, but it is the process.
That's a funny story, you got to have those along the way.
Exactly. And it's not, it's something that builds me as an actor, my story as an actor. And I can always just I laugh at it now.
Yeah.
But when it happened, I was like, I was out of it. I went back to work and I was just like, what is life?
I mean, those are the stories that make you appreciate actually being on set.
And then you don't book that job. And then you're just like, there's gotta be something wrong with me. Yeah. But yeah.
What kind of fucking audition is that anyway?
I don't even know.
I think that sometimes when I'm doing these auditions, I'm like, what? Drop a pane of glass and react to it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Give me something else.
Give me a scene. Give me a page. Give me a couple of lines of dialogue and really allow me to have a chance to act for you. I
think in some of those like that, they're just looking for a specific look.
No, yeah, 100%. But they're
wasting your time and your money.
Yeah, audition with the slate.
Yeah, do it online. Do something. Yeah.
Let me send in the slate or just do a slate and ask me some questions about my personality so you can get a sense of who I am.
Yeah.
Rather than have me pretend to drop a fucking invisible big sheet of glass and just that's it. Call it a day. But yeah, I mean, I love it. I love it for all of it is. I feel like we're hopefully going in a better direction.
Yeah.
With it. And I don't know what the plans are for live auditions coming back. I know some people are probably having them, but I feel like I have a lot more freedom with taped auditions.
I love taped auditions. They work more for me because I'm a very introverted person. So going to a place and being in front of all these people and stuff, it's fun whenever you're doing it on the day of. But as far as auditioning goes, my take on auditioning now is just to fuck around.
Yeah.
I don't even so the last audition that I did, I was reading the script and I had Andrew Goody come over and help me.
Yeah.
Andrew's my homie. So he comes over and he's reading the script and I'm like, yeah, I'm going to say this line and this line. He's like, well, those aren't the characters you auditioned for. And I was like, yeah, but I think my character would say those lines.
Yeah.
So I'm just taking other lines from people and stuff. And I actually got a call back on that one.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Because you have that more freedom of play.
Yeah.
You have the time for it. And you're sending in multiple takes if you want. So you can send them in the take that's exactly what they're asking for. And then you can send another take where you're having some fun and freedom with it. And the worst thing that can happen is they see that first take, exactly giving them exactly what they want. And they go, okay, that's what we're looking for. They watch your other take and they go, oh, maybe this is actually what we're looking for.
Yeah.
But they know that you can deliver on both aspects. So it's like you have that freedom. What was I going to say? But yeah, I just think like you were saying, not having you're showing up for an audition, a callback, having a wait time of like 30, 45 minutes sometimes where you're just around a bunch of actors, you're trying to stay into it. You're also trying to be, you know, a warm human being. If someone wants to talk to you, you can remove yourself from the actors, yada, yada, yada. But then you'll see like an actor leaving the audition room and like the casting director being like having a relationship with this person, like knowing them for years or whatever, knowing their work and just be like, bye, you know, have a great day, blah, blah. And then you go in and there's like, I don't have that relationship with you. So it's immediately feels colder. And it's just like you have all that extra crap. And yeah, as actors, we're supposed to be able to remove it, shed it, be in a moment, be in a character, be in an experience. But it's not always as easy as that.
Yeah, I think it's different whenever you're on set, because when you're on set, you go there that day knowing this is what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
But whenever you leave your regular life and then walk into an auditioning space, you're like, okay, I have all this shit that I was dealing with earlier. So yeah, it's still going to come with you a little bit. You're going to be dragging some baggage along with you. So it's a different mentality. Like even the best actors, I'm sure they have things in their life that they bring with them to an auditioning room. Yeah. And that's why I like to be more method too. I like to live with the character.
There was, I don't know if you're seeing it. It's, I think it's a mockumentary, some documentary thing called Jury Duty or whatever. And it's like everyone is an actor in on this fake trial or whatever, except for one guy.
Yeah, I think I've seen. Yeah, I've seen about this.
James Marsden is like on the jury duty, and he pulls this kid aside. He's like, "Do you want to run lines with me? I have this audition to send in." And watching the process of them going over this scene so many times, and him taking a non-actor and being like, "I need you to give me this line with a little bit more," and like seeing this guy who's not an actor figure it out and get into it a little bit. Like it was so great to watch. Yeah, that process.
A lot of the average person doesn't understand the process at all. I can tell you that. Yeah. There's a guy that I've been working on his short films. I've been editing some of his short films, and he's what you would call the average person. Like he was one day, he's like, I'm going to do this, and it's perfectly fine. Like you can do this and you can get better at it as you're going. That's how we've all learned. Yeah. But you have to like, it's watching him learn the process it's like, it's cool because it's an outside perspective of something that I've already went through. Yeah. So I'm trying to like tell him like my little knowledge nuggets of like how you can do this a little better, or whenever the camera's set up this way, you want to turn to the camera so that it can see you. And he doesn't get that yet. So he's like turning away from the camera and stuff. And I'm like, no, the camera always, you need to know where the camera's at all times.
I did this commercial for Mellow Mushroom. Didn't make the final cut or whatever, but basically it was like an assembly line for building pizza. And I was the saucer. You had someone chopping vegetables. You had someone doing other things, but the pizza dough tosser was not an actor. They wanted a real dough tosser. So this poor kid standing next to me, and you could just tell like, he's not getting like, don't look directly into the camera. And they're like, they wanted us to be really peppy and smiling and dancing. And he's just like, and like, just happy. And he's like, I need help. And I was like, the camera, you ever been around someone that you just can't stand so much that even if they were right in front of you and you were in a conversation with another person, you could pretend like they don't exist. Yeah. Like that's how much you have disdain for this person. It's just like, you're not going to acknowledge your assistance. That's the camera. All right. So
that's a good way to look at it.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's like, just me trying to pull from my mind, like, how do I get him to understand or like make it easier for him or give him things that he can work with. Yeah. And then like for the happiness thing, it was like, he's like, how am I going to pretend to be happy all the time? I was like, it can be super silly. And I was like, I looked at him, I said, titties. And he starts laughing. And I was like, it's not the most appropriate thing, but it's like, you just keep thinking that to yourself too. You find that's funny. and that's going to make you laugh and giggle, you just say that to yourself in your head, and it's your secret. No one else needs to know that you're being immature or like weird. And that's your impetus for being silly and laughing.
Yeah.
And I was just giving him these little tips and stuff like that. And it's just like me trying to pull stuff off the top of my head. I'm like, I laughed and I was like, this is me telling this guy to think about like boobs.
I mean, it works.
And it works, but just like seeing someone who doesn't understand that world and that process and like trying to find little tips to help. I enjoy that process too. Like I love working with other actors.
I like working with other actors.
It's easier. It's a lot easier with other actors.
Some of the stuff we're doing right now, we're working with people who this is their first time in front of the camera, and you really have to like, calm them down and stuff. Like for me, I guess I've been doing this for so long now that I forget the camera's even there. Yeah. Like even like us doing this right here, it's like, there's a camera sitting there, shining on us.
They instantly get Talladega Nights. What do I do with my hands?
Yeah. Like, what do I do with my hands? But it's fun. Like it's fun to try to work around those. I guess those people, like deer in a headlight type people. Yeah. It's like, okay, here's how we're gonna try to get this shot because we got to get this shot. Yeah,
and it's you kind of pull back from trying to hit on the truth as well as it should be hit upon.
Well, it's like if I work with you, I'm like, Tevin, I need to do this and like give me more energy on it. Yeah. Boom, that's all you need.
Yeah. Exactly.
But with other people, you got to like you got to like poke and prod their emotions.
It's like, have you ever felt this before? Like, when have you felt like this? Tell me a story about when you felt, okay, so that's what we're looking for. Try to go ahead and bring that to where, and they're just like, what?
You ever worked with any directors that did weird shit? Let me give you an example. So one film I was on, this right before I was getting ready to do this very emotional scene, this scene where I beat my wife until she's like bruised and bloody. Yeah. And I go in there and I'm like crying and I'm drunk. And then she walks up to me and hands me a handful of wedding rings and then turns around and walks out of the room and says, action. And I was like, what the fuck is this? Yeah. It didn't work for me at all. I was confused.
Yeah. Kind of. Yeah. Okay. I can't say that I have, like in school, definitely. I had this great acting teacher, Mr. Poole. And there was once, I forget what we were doing, but he was trying to get something out of me. And he's just like, starts slapping me on the back. And he's like, Dad, you feeling angry? Bah. And I was like, this is working, man. Like you're fucking taking some slaps on my back. But it was like the little push emotionally I needed.
Yeah. Get the adrenaline flowing.
Yeah. But as far as like weird stuff like that, no.
Yeah, that one kind of, I was like, what is this? I had a really cool acting teacher when I was in college. I didn't go to school for acting, but I took the only acting class I've ever taken is beginning actors for non-majors. Okay. And had this really cool teacher when I was there. Molly Simpson, I think was her name. Yeah, I know her first name was Molly for sure. But I remember one day we were in class and you had all these people that were non-actors and we weren't getting it. We weren't understanding what she was trying to teach us. Yeah. So she just like fucking turns it on, dude. I mean, goes from 0 to 100 and just like starts yelling at us. And we were all like fucking just cowering in our seats. And then she's like, that's how you do it. And we were like, what the fuck just happened? It was the most incredible thing I've ever seen. And that's when I was like, I need to do this. Yeah. Like whatever that just was, like whatever energy she just projected on all of us, like I need to do that. Cause her emotions were so strong that she elicited an emotional reaction from us. Yeah. Like that's power.
Yeah. And that you want to be a part of that.
Yeah. I was like, I need to figure this out.
So what made you want to dabble in that class in the first place, just in general?
I don't like, it was the end of it was my senior year and I had one credit that I could take. And I was trying to figure out a class to take. And my mom, I think, was actually like, why don't you try this? Yeah. I never even thought about it. I was like, I don't know.
Shout out to your mom.
Yeah. I was like, I'll give it a shot.
Some good stuff right there.
Yeah. I was like, I'll give it a shot. So I took beginning acting for non-majors and it was horrible. Like I think I might have got like a C or a B in it. Like it was bad, but I was like, there's something here I need to.
It piqued that interest.
Yeah, a lot of the stuff we did in that class was theater. Like I did a musical theater piece. Horrible singer, but I didn't realize at the time it was more about the acting than it was the singing.
Yeah.
But yeah, we did a lot of theater stuff. I'm not a big theater fan. I'd much rather do film, and I had to find my niche in the because I've done a couple of projects now on stage. Not for me, but like I said, I found my my niche. My niche is film.
No, yeah. See, I'd say I love both. I miss the stage. It's been a very long time since I've graced the stage. I think the last play I did was a 24-hour play here in New Orleans. Like when I first moved.
How does
here.
that work? Oh, you have 24 hours to do
it? It was like a 48-hour film festival.
Oh, that would be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of my issues with stage is that it takes so long. Like you're normally rehearsing for like a couple of months.
Yeah.
Then you perform like on the weekends for like 1 month or something. It just takes a lot of time.
Yeah, it's a huge investment. But I missed that visceral just challenge of having a different audience every night. Mm-hmm. Being a different actor or things, hitting different or, showcasing themselves different, whether it be actors, emotions, and just having to play with it. I had a great moment and we did a play. I think it was my either senior or junior year called In Memorandum. And I played a character that was pretty much like the office snitch, only I was hidden away in the ceiling. And I would spy on the other workers. And there was one moment at the end of the second act where I dropped this rung ladder down from the ceiling and I literally climbed down. And in the third act, the character who took my spot switches back with me. Only what happened was he had somehow really fucked up the ladder. So it didn't come all the way down. It was all folded up and I'm supposed to get back up there. And so it was like, it happened. It was the only night it happened. I'm peeking through the curtains in the back and I'm just like, how am I going to play this? And one of my fellow actors behind the stage, she goes, you should have him get on all fours. And I was like, fuck it. That's what I'm going to do. And so I go out there and I'm like, what the hell did you do? And I was like, get down. And this actor gets down on all fours. I reach up and I literally muscle my way up and I get up there, pull the ladder up, close the hatch, and audience bursts into applause. And I was just like, just meeting that challenge head on.
Yeah.
Us making it work. And like, that was the first time I gotten like that level of applause or recognition for this. And I was just like, what a cool moment.
That is hilarious. Actually.
Yeah, it was pretty great.
I will say that is one of the cool things about being on stage is that anything can happen at any moment and you have to be ready for it when it does happen. We had we did Legally Blonde 2 a while back. And one of the actors was backstage talking to me and it was his time to be on stage. They were running a scene on stage. Yeah. And someone walked back and was like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, you need to be on stage.
Just deep in combo with you.
Dude, they were out there running lines and he wasn't there. And they're like, where did he go?
Just like fill space and like
ad-libbing, dude, until he got out there. So that is one of the cool things about being on stage.
Yeah.
I will say, I saw Adam do a really cool thing before they moved to New York. They did they did The Exorcist is what it was.
Okay.
But in The Exorcist, all the actors were on something. So
different drugs.
Okay, yes. Okay. So one of the things that they did was they took these clear glass like carafe things and they put gin in one, vodka in one, water in one, and they didn't label any of them. And they just put them on stage so they could like drink them and stuff as they were like in the play.
Yeah.
And I remember one time he was playing the priest that could exorcise the demon. And he walks up, he grabs one of the bottles. He thinks it's water. He thinks he knows where he put the water. And he walks up to the demon and he puts his leg on the bed and he's delivering one of his lines. And he takes a huge swig of this, what he thinks is water. It was gin. Oh, he almost threw up on the demon. It was
reverse exorcism.
Bro, it was fucking hilarious. But I mean, we went and saw the second show too. So by the second show, they were all just like fucking blitzed off whatever they'd taken. That was a fun play to go see.
That's pretty wild.
Yeah. I think they were going to do another one and then COVID hit and it was the Willy Wonkas they were going to do next. But I think I would definitely go see none of those, whoever did that.
That's impressive. That's an impressive feat for the actors to accomplish that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if I'd be able to handle that.
Yeah. I don't know if I could either, but it'd be fun to try. I think it's when I would step on the stage again and do that. That's one way I would get back on the stage. If I could do one of those plays, maybe we'll do one.
Really, really
free. Should do one right here.
Yeah. I mean, you could create a space for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That might be kind of fun, Tevin.
Get slammered.
Get hammered and fucking do a little play here, man. So Tevin, what's next for you, my friend?
What's next for me is auditions coming my way with, the strike being over. Me taking all that time that we had to kind of reflect on ourselves and me putting some good work. I'm excited for everything that comes my way.
I love it.
Because I'm gonna do some amazing auditions.
You ever thought about doing any directing or anything?
I think about writing. It's something I really need to start getting into because I have lots of ideas. Lots of stories that are in my notes app on my phone where I have the plot really kind of like laid out, and I just need to figure out dialogue and setting and stuff like that, stuff that makes a story come to life. But
unbelievable, people calling me.
But yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't know if I necessarily have the eye for directing and camera work yet. I can appreciate it when I see it, but as far as creating that myself, I don't think I'm there. So I would definitely need people with the skill set to collaborate.
You can always learn it, right?
Yeah. But I think as far as priorities,
acting,
I would want to do acting and then writing some stuff.
Well, I know that you're an amazing actor.
Thank you.
Yeah, I've seen you on a lot of stuff, and you do very well on everything. So yeah, I say keep pouring energy into that. I think you're going to do big things, man. Where can the people find you out there?
You can find me on social media. Lucky number Tevin, lucky number Tev. My IMDb, of course, to see what I've been in, Tevin Marbeth. And yeah, just keep your televisions on. Keep your radios on. You might hear my voice for some Gulf Coast Bank ads. And yeah.
Love it. Thanks for coming in today, Tevin.
Thanks for having me.